Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. The boys are back. Y'all see who we here with, man. I got my guys, my tag partners. You know what I'm saying? My dog Manny, my dog Cody Dre. Today we're joined by the one, the only, the Euro Continental Champion himself. You might have seen him. You might have tried to emulate this man with the neck bobble. You know what I'm saying? The one, the only D'Lo Brown, man, is in the building, bro.
What's going on, fellas? Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here, and I can't wait to chop it up.
Of course, man. Look, I don't know if you know, but every year we do a Black History Month segment where we spotlight prominent Black figures, you know what I'm saying, in wrestling, past and present, you know what I'm saying, and everything in between. And you were definitely one of the people that we just had to speak to. So I'm definitely happy you could join us today, man.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, guys. It's always good to talk to people.
Nah, most definitely, man. Well, first and foremost, I want to start out with just with you. How are you feeling right now?
Oh, loving life, man. Right now, in a little hiatus. Took a little time off after leaving Impact Wrestling and doing some stuff. I'm getting ready to go do a USO tour over in the Middle East. Head over to England in a couple months. So I'm as busy as I've ever been. Just out there running around, shaking the damn head.
Oh man, nah, that's good to hear, man. Let's get into it then, man. I know a lot of people know you from the Nation of Domination, one of the greatest factions in wrestling history. How would you describe your relationship with those guys, man? Past and currently.
I can just speak in currently. They're all my best friends to this day.
Right.
Ron Simmons was not just the leader of the nation. He was the father I never knew I needed until I had him, and I always want him. Mark Henry's the big brother who will defend you to the cows come home. And there's no better person to get into a fight with than have Godfather standing next to you. And hey, if you ever need to hook up with the ladies, Rock was always good with that one too. So we're all good, bro.
It's a wild group of people to be going out with. Like, I would never feel safer in my life than with those four people you just named right there.
You should have seen times we'd walk into a restaurant or something, people would just turn their heads and look, and it would get quiet, and we just have the walk of the room, and that'd be it. I mean, no one wanted to mess with us.
You said there's nobody you'd rather want to be in a fight with. Like who? That kind of piqued my interest because it's like who had the best hands? Like who? I'm sure there was probably times like y'all would play around flat box. You know what I'm saying? Like who really had hands for real?
See, now Godfather's a heavy hitter because he's legit was a
He was
bouncer
a
back in
boxer.
a boxer and a bouncer back in the heyday of wrestling or of Vegas here. So back when it was the Wild West here and there was no rules, like he was slapping fools upside their head because they were just talking out of turn. So I want him next to me, not looking at me. That's all I'll say is I want him next to me.
Facts. I don't blame you.
I feel like Godfather was kind of like he was deceptively big. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you look at him like, nah, you're not that big. And then like you looked at an old picture and he was just like jacked, just cock diesel. I was like, nah, my fault, OG. I don't want no disrespect. You know what I'm
brother, 6'7", 350 pounds, a
Oh my
chest
God.
that sticks out this far, just and could incline press 600-700 pounds. I mean, just stupid.
Yeah, no.
And I've never been the smallest guy in the room until I'm standing in the nation and I'm the smallest guy. and people always would come to me and they go, "Man, you're taller than you thought you were. What'd you think I was, 5'2"?" And they were like, "Yeah, because everyone made you look short. That lets you know how big everybody else is."
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, that is true.
Right?
Imagine. I can imagine. You're recognized as one of the greatest European champions in WWE history. Now, if we can be completely honest, where would you rank yourself in that discussion? You got to put yourself number one, I'm guessing, right?
I mean, yeah, because I guess that's I'm closely associated with that title and with that championship, and I guess the time I had it and was working with it, it got a lot of recognition. So, I hate to ever rank myself first in anything. I'm just not that kind of guy. But look, put it like this: the end of the day, in the number of wrestlers that have been on national television, I'm linked with a championship forever, and that's a cool place to be in history.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Definitely.
fact.
So you mentioned Ron Simmons earlier, and then you
Mm-hmm.
have The Rock in the group. Mark Henry, I know he's probably, I'm not sure if he has the least experience, not saying that he doesn't have any, but
Mm-hmm.
so how is it working with that group and then in that dynamic with that much wrestling history and lack thereof with Mark Henry just getting started at that time? What
Well, I
was it
mean,
like, just learning at that time?
it was great because you had guys like Ron and Godfather who had been there and done that, and they were willing to lend their experience to us because Mark, Rocky, and myself, we were the young pups.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, Rocky and I had the most experience, and and Mark had very little when he came in, as you said. So when you have a guy with the experience of just say Ron Simmons, who you'd get in a 3 hour car ride, and for an hour and a half, he'd break your match down of what you did poorly, what you need to work on, and then he'd spend the next hour building you back up and moving you forward to the next night. And you get this 300 nights a year, sitting
Mm-hmm.
in a car, sitting on a plane. All Ron was trying to do was teach us because he wanted us up to his level.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like having Bill Belichick, a Hall of Fame coach, sitting in your ear every day, working your game up. So I couldn't have asked for anything better. And finding my way there it was just a matter of listening. If I couldn't learn that environment, that's a me problem.
Yeah.
I kind of I got a question about just you guys as like characters because I feel like after the nation, all of you had a lot of just charisma. You know what I'm saying? Mark Henry was hilarious. The Rock was full of charisma.
Mm-hmm.
You, Ron Simmons, just all of you, Godfather. Like, did you guys? I don't want to say did you know you had all like the charisma, but like, where did like I guess the freedom to kind of just express yourself and do what you kind of wanted to do? Like, how'd that come about?
That was a product of Attitude Era because they gave us the chance to go out there and they gave us a chance to fail without being penalized.
Mm.
Because every time you failed, you learned what not to do and what to do next. So then you'd find something that worked and you'd file that away. You'd find something that didn't work, you'd get rid of it. So after about 6 months, you just refined yourself down to this product that you went out there and you were able to just turn it on. And then when you add in your natural personality, everything you saw was an extension of who we were in the car, in the hotel, in the restaurant. We're just friends doing it on TV. And that's why we were so free and easy around each other because we trusted each other. We knew everyone was there to hold us up and not try to undermine us or backstab us or anything like that. They were there to prop us up. And it just gave you the freedom to have fun. And once again, if I did something stupid and Ron didn't like me, he told me quickly and it never happened again.
Mm.
That's amazing to hear, especially like I hear all of these stories about like back in those days, like the wrestling politics and like people politicking backstage and everything, and it just comes off as you guys had a relationship to where nah, that wasn't y'all. Y'all was giving each other's critiques and just looking out and wanting the best for each other, and like I like that. You don't really hear that much, like especially with all the wrestling stories going around from back in those times.
I mean, we were in a unique spot. We wanted to keep that spot on the card and our spot in and around the main event. So if we undermine each other, we get nothing. But if we lift each other up, we stay there for a long time. And then after the nation breaks up, we're all elevated to a different level. And if you look at all our paths after it, I think we were all better after the nation. That says a lot about what the nation meant to us.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. I got another question. And I'm sorry, guys, because I know I'm kind of going off script, but this kind of just came to me. To people that used to watch wrestling and watch it now, and they see factions like the New Day, right? That aren't typically I don't want to say the stereotypical, but like I remember having to talk with my sister, and she was like, "Why are these guys wearing like all these colors?" And dancing around, and they not like the Nation of Domination, like super black, super militant. And I kind of had to explain to her like it's it's different. You know what I'm saying? Like not everybody has to be this. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to get your thoughts on the black factions that we have today. With the New Day, Hurt Business, and things like that. Like what are your thoughts on the new black factions?
I love the fact that, and you put it eloquently, it's not stereotypical anymore. We're not criminals. We're not thugs. The Hurt Business are businessmen dealing with business. The New Day had the ability to go out there and act a fool because that's what they want to do, and it's okay. Because if you take that and reverse that to a white faction, no one would ever question that.
Right.
So instead of it being about black and white, it's just about a wrestler or a faction doing their job and having fun. And I believe that, the nation crawled so others could walk and run.
And it feels that way. Like, I feel like the nation, like anytime a group is started, the nation gets mentioned. Like when the Hurt Business was getting started in the beginning, everyone was like, would this be the new nation, where they get this stable together and then it, turns into something else, like you guys did with all these separate careers that happened afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, it's a blessing and a curse because I want them not to be the next nation. I want them to be the first them. But if we act as if the nation was some kind of inspiration, then great. But go out there and be the first you, so you can make somebody be the next.
Right.
And I find it flattering. I love it when people, when you get a faction that's compared to the nation. I can't wait for a white faction to be compared to the nation, because then you truly crossed over, and it's not about color; it's just about what that faction meant.
Right.
Definitely.
How'd you feel when you seen that? I'm sure you seen it when the white boy threw up the fist. When you seen that for the first time, like what went through your head?
Dude, that was one of the first times it was caught on camera, but that was a normal occurrence. Like,
really?
Like it was cool to be a white kid throwing up the fist. I mean, you thought by any means necessary, you'd see this everywhere. It was like, whoa! You'd walk in the store and be like, "Can I be part of the nation tonight?" I mean, even doing autograph sessions now, people are like, "Can we get the nation for the night?" And they want to take pictures with the fist up. So it hits you right here that we made it something where people remember it, and it's a cool thing to do, and it's not abrasive. It's cool.
Man, so I feel like I had the ball a lot. I'm sorry, y'all.
Nah, it's all good. Well, I did have one question. So I feel like the 90s, there was a bunch of factions. There was the DXs, there were the Nation. I'm forgetting the name of the group now, where it was like Misfits. Oh my God. Where it was like a bunch of like different looking people in the group. One lady had
Yeah. It'll come to me.
But there was a bunch of factions in the 90s. What's one of the hardest parts about getting success as a faction and being able to grow as one and being able to work with that many people in one group?
It's a twofold thing. It's one, being able to stand out as an individual, but two, also being able to coalesce in a team to work as one. Because the natural instinct is for me to go out there and get myself over and not worry about everybody else. Whereas you've got to establish you as a character, but then you've got to fall in line because the group needs that character, because the sum justifies all the parts. And so that to me was the hardest part. Now, when you get out there and you're wrestling, it's great when you have 5-on-5 matches because they're easy as hell. But the hard part is finding your individuality in the group, but yet being still part of the group.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because you talk about like individuality and stuff like that. And when you wrestled, I'd say like you wrestled kind of a hybrid style. You know what I'm saying? Like you were a big guy, but you're over here doing planches, you doing springboards, you doing frog splashes and things like that. When you look at today's landscape, is there anyone that you'd say resembles you the most?
Man, that's a good one, because I mean, size wise, and I'll knock on wood here. I was somewhat athletic back in my younger days, so it's hard to find a comparison of someone who's like D'Angelo Dawkins, but he's not quite as big, but he moves around the same way. if
Right.
that makes any sense.
Especially recently with he had a singles match a couple weeks ago where he was
Yeah,
jumping off the top and everything like that.
Yeah,
yeah,
nah, Dawkins is super agile.
and that he's very athletic, and he's showing it off now. He's getting a chance to show it off. Man, you got me stumped
That's
there.
a
You
pretty good
usually,
comparison.
I think that's a good one.
That is. Because
And I hope the brother a ton of success because I like him as an individual.
Yes.
same. Angelo, he grew on me actually. Just with like the recent feats, like last year, like I know a lot of people were saying, or maybe even the year before, like they were saying he was kind of the weak link. But as of recent, if you've been watching what he's been doing, he's been showing improvement. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd probably go out there and say he's been kind of carrying some of these matches that he's been having. You know what I'm saying? But Dawkins has definitely been a major. He's shown signs of major improvement.
What you got to
And
do,
I'll
and,
pick
and,
that
and
up.
what you got to do in wrestling is you got to look sometimes deeper than the gimmick or the character. You got to look at what they're doing out there, and they'll show you stuff, and you don't think they're like you'd be like, "Wow, I didn't know he was doing that kind of stuff." You got to pay attention to all of it, and you'll see the true worker come out.
Right. I kind of I want to pivot over to your time in TNA. You got to see TNA when it was young. When it was, I don't want to call it an upstart, but when TNA was young and it was up and coming, you was there. Who did you see in your time there that showed the most potential? Like you saw this person and you were like, nah, this guy, they got something down here.
I could tell you the first time I touched AJ Styles in the ring, I knew that kid was going to be special from the first time, from the first second. Then seeing a Samoa Joe going, damn, now this brother moves. You know, and you know someone is good when you think to yourself, I wish I had done that. That's when you know someone you're giving someone the ultimate respect. So a lot of times I'd watch Joe work and I'm like, damn, I wish I'd have thought of that. But there's a ton of guys down there. Bobby Roode, James Storm. You go back to the old TNA, man, there was some talent down there. You know, young Christopher Daniels, a Kazarian. I mean, Elix Skipper. I mean, I can't keep naming it. There's so much talent that was down there.
It's a lot of heavy hitters right there.
And I just touched the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, now for those who know, if you were a TNA head, I talk about TNA a lot on the show, just because like around that time I was probably like 11 years old, and it would come on like late night on Spike TV, and I'm like, what's this? And I tap in, and you would see these guys like first off the what the hexagon in the ring, the 6-sided ring.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that catches you off rip because you're like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never seen a ring like this. And then you see, like you said, the guys, the Elix Skippers, the AJ Styles, the Bobby Roodes, like, and it was just a different wrestling style from the, you know what I'm saying, the traditional WWE style. Like, guys, that was the first time I seen guys working that fast or doing things the X division. Like, that was the first time I ever seen something like that. So that is crazy.
Yeah, it was a very unique style. It was a hybrid of traditional wrestling and throwing some Japanese and some lucha, and that's what that X division was. It was crash and burn TV, but it was must see TV. Like couldn't take your eyes off it.
Facts. You were also head of talent relations and Impact. You mentioned in an interview that you watched a ton of wrestling videos daily. So how do you filter through these videos to find the one? You know, to find someone? Like, what do you look for?
It's hard to specifically say what you're looking for, but you know, I'm looking for a character. I'm looking for fundamentals in the ring. I'm looking for ring presence, ring awareness, and you can. I do it like I think it's like a scout in football. Like you can tell if a kid can play ball by his feet. You know, you could tell instantly. So it's almost the same thing in wrestling. You can just tell. I can tell by them walking to the ring if there's something there, just by the way they move. And then you know, is that the person you want to put on TV or give the chance to be on TV? Those are things you look for. You know, I found a fair share, and then I've thrown I've hit delete on a lot of stuff.
So is it, with that being said, is it harder to develop someone's personality when they're a great wrestler or a really good wrestler, or good wrestling if they're a really great personality?
That it just depends on the individual, because you get a guy who's a great wrestler, and then like a guy like Kurt Angle was a great wrestler, and then found his personality after a few years.
Right.
It was no one taught him; it just came out as he got more and more comfortable.
Right.
So it just depends on the individual. There's no true formula to that answer.
Okay.
I got a question about what we saw a few years ago on Impact. We saw the AEW Impact connection, right? I was critical about this connection because I felt like it was a one-way street. I felt like AEW, I feel like they took more than they gave to Impact, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I kind of want to get your opinion or your thoughts on it. Like, maybe I'm wrong, but like, how'd you feel about, just that connection, I'll say.
No, I think more could have been done for Impact. I mean, definitely, but AEW was the larger company, had the bigger exposure, so it just naturally things will tilt that way. But I think Impact could have gotten a little bit more out of it. I mean, it would have been nice to have a little more Impact talent go over to AEW and appear on their TV. But hey, I'm not the ones that make those decisions. I just, I'm in the back with the headphones on helping matches. So that's a whole different level above me.
Man,
understood.
Yeah, I want to go back to the question I asked earlier about who you saw back then that caught your eye. Who currently in Impact would you say has it? Who has that it factor right now currently in Impact?
Let's see. Well, I could say right now, like Chris Bay or Ace Austin have it. Chris Bay's got a lot of it. Like I think those two guys will own the business in 5 or 6 years, because I think you're just going to get they're so good now and they're so young. Wait till they get a little more experience under their belt. There's a ton. Like, I'm a big Taya Valkyrie fan. I think she's just phenomenal in the ring. I'm a big Deonna Purrazzo fan.
Yes.
I think her work is impeccable. And then you see how like Jordan Grace has changed herself to a whole different entity. I'm looking forward to see where she goes. So there's a lot of talent there that I could say they got it. They could be the next one.
Man, that's dope.
I like that. Something else I seen that the famous head shake that you said you got it from Friday.
Yep.
Is this true?
This is true. So back in my day when portable DVD players first came out, you would have sleeves of DVDs like you'd have sleeves of CDs for your car, right? So you have your favorite movies and then whatever you bought new. Well, Friday was a staple; it was always there. So one night, Rocky and I, the Sunday, we just got done a show somewhere, and we're at the hotel, and I threw Friday in, and Debo knocks brother out, and there goes Chris Tucker going, "You just got knocked out," right? So, as always, you laugh. You don't realize what sticks in your mind until it happens. So the next night on Raw, Rocky's wrestling Ken Shamrock, and we're getting ready to go to commercial break. So Rocky clotheslines Ken Shamrock over the top rope, hits the ground, and I see the camera go up to Ken Shamrock, and I'm like, I got to steal this moment. And I went right up to him, and I got, "You just got knocked out." And it just was that's the first time I did it. But I said the F word on national TV. So my first thought is, man, I'm going to get fined. When I go back to the top of the ramp, Vince is going to fine me. So finish the match. You go to the top of the ramp, walk through the curtain, nation with some bad brothers. And when you turn around the corner, there's Vince always sitting there. And there's two looks. There's Vince, and he'll sit there and he looks up from his paperwork. He's got his pencil and he gives you the thumb up. And then there's Vince who looks up and goes, "You don't want that one."
Uh-oh.
So I go through the curtain. And Vince goes, "Rocky, good work. And Vince looks at me and goes, "D'Lo, come here." Oh, man, I'm about to get fined. And he just looked at me and goes, "That thing with your head. Keep doing it." That's it. Yep, that's it. I left. I was like, I didn't get fined. But then I said I did something that connected with him. And if it connected with him, how many other things has connected with him that have gone on to be successful? So that's when it started. That's when let me exaggerate this. Then that's when the strut came out, and that's when the whole everything came out, and that's boom, off to the races.
Now, do you have to practice that strut when you're like walking down the ramp?
No,
Are you
bro,
just at home and just?
That's just swag, bro. Go on to the music. That's just swag.
You know what I mean? It's natural. That's swag right there.
That's way more impressive than you at home. Just all right. How do I get this walk down? I can't look weird.
No, that was just feeling the beat, feeling the rhythm, and going. Let's just go for it.
Do you still do it now, just at the crib, just like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
man, I'd get busted upside my head if I did that walk in the house, bro. Come on, man.
It's a great walk. I mean,
it's a great TV walk, not a great walk in the house.
Hey, look, if I'm breaking the fourth wall, hey, it's Valentine's Day, so fellas, do the walk, man. Go ahead, be confident, walk into the bedroom, do the walk, man.
If the gift was good enough, you're good.
Yeah.
If you want to own the room, hit the music and walk in the bedroom, and happy Valentine's Day, baby.
Do the walk, man. I got one more question on Impact. Impact in New Japan, they announced a collab show that they're that's going to take place next month. What do you think about the New Japan Impact collab?
I think it's amazing. You get to see like dream matches you didn't get you didn't think were possible. I love when American audience are exposed to the Japanese top wrestlers, and I love when Japanese audience are exposed to the American top wrestlers. It's a two-way street. So hopefully it opens up more avenues for more Impact talent to go over there. You've seen guys like, Bay and Austin have been going over there a lot. So hopefully it opens up more avenues for more of Impact talent to go over there and represent on that side of the on that side of the pond.
Most definitely. We even saw last year the collab with the WWE at the Royal Rumble, having Mickie James show up. With the Knockouts Championship, man. So I definitely, and even that was a shocker, to be completely honest with you. So
there's been recently, over let's say just the last 4 or 5 years, been an unprecedented amount of working together and collabs between companies that have never been seen before. You could, at one point, Impact did a show last year where there was representatives from New Japan, AAA, AEW, Impact, and then various independents on one show. And that was a broadcast television show. So you don't get to see that too often. When you do, it's pretty special.
100%.
Now, I have another question about the 90s and that era of wrestling. Because everybody, thinks about it as the golden era, just in pop culture, really. So what was touring like back then? Like, wrestling is probably not as biggest, but it's like it's the it thing, every Monday, and millions of people are tuning in. So what is it like, especially with your group of people that you're with? What was it like touring back then?
It was like living the rock star life. I mean, we were on the road 300 nights a year. We'd be in, New York one night, Chicago the next, LA the next, and then you're off to England for a week. It was a grind, but it was so much fun. And when we crossed over into pop culture, you just felt it. I'll give you an example. We're in England, and we land at Heathrow, and as we're getting off the plane, everyone is turning left to go to baggage claim, but we have an escort who takes us to the right. Okay. So then we go in this door and we go down these steps. And then now we're underneath the airport where there's nobody. I'm like, man, he's like, yeah, this is how the Queen goes through here.
Oh,
what?
Wow.
So then as we're walking, we see this tall gentleman, and he's with this other short guy. And as get closer, the guy gets taller and taller. And you realize, you're like, hell, that's Will Smith. So we're down in the tunnel, and Will stops. Is like, "Oh man, I didn't know you guys were in town." And he talks to his, "I can't stay. I got to go." He was going to stay because we were in London that night performing. And it's like,
Oh
Will
man.
Smith at the time was one of the biggest stars on the planet, and he knows us and is talking to us.
Wow.
Or when we're up and anytime we went to LA, there was more stars in the locker room than there were sitting out the crowd. Everyone was back there just wanting to hang out, wanting to go, "Hey, you want to go out to have dinner tonight?" So that's when you knew it was something special when you had A-listers wanting to associate with you, and that's not always the common thing in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
That's fire.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. If security escorted me down beneath an airport, I would have ran off. Like, nah, you trying to set me up? Bro. I'm out here, man.
And then Will Smith is there.
Yeah, for real.
I'd let you know how that tunnel was used. I'd let you know there.
Yeah.
That was a secret tunnel, bro.
Oh my god, that's actually a perfect transition into our next segment. We got a segment on the show called "Talk to Me Nice." We're gonna ask you some more questions, but these are more loose, nothing to do with wrestling, maybe a little bit, but you get the vibe. If you had to make an Impact Mount Rushmore, who do you put on?
Oh golly,
Put him on the spot, Eve.
Yeah, we asked the hard hitting questions here, man.
Bro, I mean, to name one, you're disrespecting 10 others. Man.
Ooh.
I mean, okay, you got to go with like Jeff Jarrett being the founder.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go with AJ Styles. I think he's probably the most notable person to come homegrown Impact talent.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now it gets murky. Damn.
Ooh.
I mean, I could name off 10 people to fill those two spots.
Yeah.
How about this? How about give me one tag team and one knockout?
I'll give you America's Most Wanted.
Okay.
One knockout, it would be Gail Kim.
Yeah.
I like that.
Gail Kim.
We had we recently had a top 10 women's wrestler. I don't want to call it a debate. Would you call it a debate, Cody? Or more? It was a discussion.
Discussion. There we go.
So we had a top 10 women's wrestler discussion, and I was trying to make a case for Gail Kim to be in the top 10. But she was honorable mention, man. I thought Gail really defined the knockouts division, man. She took that division to new heights.
I think if you put handcuffs on Gail Kim and Awesome Kong, what they meant to the knockouts division at that time, they're easily 1 and 1A if you put them together because of what they did for a company at the time who was looking for an identity and had the X division, and then all of a sudden the ladies jump up and start doing work. Mm-hmm. And those two were the they were the spearhead of that whole knockout women's movement. I mean, everything you see that women have today is because of those two going out there and busting their ass and earning their spot in the main events and drawing ratings and going out there and putting kick-ass matches on night in, night out. So if you put those two together, that's your 1 and 1A to me.
Yeah,
definitely. Some people got wrestling soulmates, man. You Rock and Austin, Ric Flair and Steamboat. You know what I'm saying? Gail and Awesome Kong. That's another pairing, man.
Yeah,
definitely.
100%.
Recently, we had a lot of blockbuster NBA trades. Now you don't have to trade anyone from Impact, but if you could get 2 people from any promotion to come to Impact, who are you choosing?
Will Hobbs and D'Angelo Dawkins. Okay. I take them both. Hobbs. I think those guys have star potential written all over them.
I think you guys can make them stars too, especially Dawkins. Like you guys could bring him to that next level because you could tell that there's something there. It just needs to come out. And
I think Will Hobbs is just an opportunity away from being that next dude.
Yep.
Just an opportunity away.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree about Dawkins also. Like, just thinking about him under like your learning tree, I think that would be really awesome.
It'd be fun. It'd be fun.
Where do you rank your frog splash? The Sky High.
Bruh. It's all based on your likes. You know, the three everyone talks about are Eddie's, Rob's, and mine.
Mhm.
I'm just happy to be ranked in the top three. Out of all the brothers that have done the frog splash, mine is in the top three. I'm very happy with that.
For sure.
Fact.
I'm very happy. You could pick one of the three, whichever flavor ice cream you want. As long as I'm in the top three, I'm good.
You straight. That's all that matters.
Look at that list. I mean, look at the list of people that's on there. I mean,
I'll take it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna lie. You're in some very solid lists. You know what I'm saying? Like rarefied air type lists. Like the only other people to have like the European Championship and Intercontinental Championship at the same time is like you, Kurt Angle, Jeff Jarrett. Like it's real. Like you know what I'm saying? So
It's a short list.
Yes.
It's a short list. It's a short list, and I consider myself, blessed and lucky to have the opportunity to go out there and have done it. And look, I look back at my career, and I don't regret a thing. I think I had a damn good career, and that's all you can ever ask for. People, look, I ain't been in the ring in 20 years, and people still remember me, so that's all that matters.
Hell yeah.
For real. You just spoke about running into Will Smith, and when you were in LA, celebrities would be backstage. Who had you the most starstruck?
Two, Muhammad Ali and Walter Payton.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can we get those? What's those stories like?
Walter Payton, I'm sitting down at WrestleMania 13 in Chicago, just eating catering. I hear, "Can I sit down here?" And I go, "Yeah." I look up, and I go, "You're Walter Payton." And I wanted to talk football, and he wanted to talk wrestling.
Wow.
And we sat there for, I sat there with my football god for 45 minutes talking sports. Muhammad Ali was at an autograph signing a long time ago. Just the interaction, and I just got to speak with him and told him that, I remember saying, Mr. Ali, I never saw you fight, but your career had an impact on me and everyone that came after you. So I just appreciate you, just what you meant for sports and for us.
Wow.
So yeah. So those are the two. I don't usually get starstruck. I've been around kings and queens and billionaires and guys who had $3. I don't usually get starstruck, but those two had me taking a step back.
I can't even imagine sitting down with one of my favorite players ever and just having a conversation for 45 minutes like that.
Yeah, bro.
I'm blowing.
I literally just wanted to talk football. That's it. I want to talk football with him. He wanted to talk wrestling.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it tough to have that conversation when he's like, yeah, so last week, Chris Jericho, this match was so crazy, and you're like, yeah, that was crazy, but when you caught that ball, wasn't it?
You find a happy medium after a while because you figure out each other, and you're like, okay, you want to talk wrestling, I want to talk football, so let's go back and forth. Ask a question, I'll answer. We go back and forth. That's how it usually works out.
Gotcha.
I'm over here thinking about like, man, what if I ran into Allen Iverson or something? Like, what would I talk about?
Bro, tell me about that crossover, dog. How did you come up with that? How long did you have to practice that stuff?
Really?
That's where I'd go with Iverson, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, who did your braids for you?
Yeah. Can I get a card? Something, bro? Go up.
Yeah.
Right?
Before I get to that other one, I want to know when you guys are riding around going city to city, what were y'all listening to? Like, what was being played in the car?
Great question.
Everything, hip hop, R&B. It didn't matter what it was, whatever we could find on the radio or whatever CD we'd bring with us. Godfather likes a little country from time to time. Mm. We were like literally all over the place with music. So it's not like one specific thing. It was like, all right, we're getting hyped for a match. So, let's play some NWA. You know, we chilling down afterwards. Let's play a little fucking, you know, a little baby face or something. That kind of stuff.
Playing babyface to relax. With the fellas, it's like, all right.
Well, I'm not talking about the fellas in the car. It might be in my hotel room.
Oh yeah. I'm over here thinking like y'all about to play poker. Somebody throwing babyface.
No, you don't throw no baby face on with the boys, bro. That's making baby music. We ain't doing that in the car.
Oh
yeah, I was gonna say, was there anyone in charge of the music, or it was just like, hey, whoever is nearest to in the passenger seat or something like that?
Shotgun. So shotgun driver usually driver shotgun usually work the radio.
Gotcha.
Okay. I ain't mad at that. I'm sure y'all this is another question that isn't here, but I'm just while I have you, I kind of want to ask like what was the game? I'm sure y'all played cards on the road. Who was nice at what? Like was when it came to spades, like was it this person that I can't be on your team because you might, you know what I'm saying? You might think you got 7 books, you really got 6. You know what I'm saying?
The game was dominoes, and you didn't want to play against Godfather.
He was nice.
Brother could, after about 2 rounds, he could tell you exactly what bones you had in your hand.
Oh my god!
I gotta see him in dominoes.
He was that dude. He was that dude. He'd be like, "Go ahead and play at 2-3 now. Go ahead and play it right there." And he'd point to the spot you're gonna play it. You're like, "Where's the camera at? How you?" Yeah, that brother could count some bones.
Damn, that's like my girl's mom. She's nice at domino. I didn't know how to play dominoes up until like last year. And like she was, when I tell you I look like a deer in headlights, I look so dominoes with her, bro. Like even spades, I could play spades here and there, but like after a while you don't play spades. It's like, oh man, like how I forgot, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But she was just out here looking like prime LeBron with the cards and the dominoes. I was like, all right, you got it, man. I don't want no part.
When you got someone who's got dominoes or spade skills, they're also the one who talks a lot of smack as they're whipping that ass. So they're, you know what I'm saying? They're the ones
slamming the dice a little harder,
breaking the tables. Don't score a 20 or a 30, but you're gonna break something in half.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Damn. This is my last question. How'd you unwind when you came off the road back then and even now? Like, how do you just relax?
Just get in the house, put something on I want to watch on TV and just chill. After being out on the road so much, you become a homebody. So when you get home, it's a natural state of just, I don't have to be D-Lo anymore. I can just go back being me and sit in the house. Because other times you're out in the store, you still got to be that. You got to be your TV self, no matter what. You're always on. So your home becomes sanctuary. So to unwind, literally sit down on my Easy Boy and turn something on TV and get something cold in my hand to drink, and I'm good to go.
Now, when you're watching TV and movies and stuff like that, you got your inspiration to do the head shake from watching Friday. Do you watch other shows and go, oh, let me pull something from there? Let me, jot this down. Maybe it'll come in handy during a match or something like that.
Oh, hell yeah. That's the stuff you do. I mean, because if it's on TV or in a movie, it's already in pop culture, so it's easy for people to recognize it. It's easy for people to understand it and hear it. So if it's already out there and you're the first one to get it out there in our genre, then it's game on.
Right.
So yeah, no, you're always constantly going, what pings in my ear? What do I go? Oh yeah, look at that. Or what did that sound like? Yeah, that's good. Constantly.
What are some of your favorites to pull from? So like, what's your top, movies, TV shows?
Well, I wish I could use half the stuff that Denzel said in Training Day, but you can't use that on TV.
Sure.
But you just listen to hip hop lyrics, and you just listen to that jab. You go, oh, that's it. I can use that in a promo. In a movie, you listen to some dialogue, and you're like, oh, that's a hard hitting line right there. So it's just not about any specific place. It is just keeping your ears open all the time, just listening for that thing you think can cross over.
Right.
Man. I kind of got one more question. I know we spoke about football before we started recording, but I kind of want to bring it back up. You said you're a Bears fan. That's your team. You've been rolling with them for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
What are your expectations for the Chicago Bears next season?
Next year, I believe that. Well, let's start with this off season. I think we're going to turn that number one pick into about 7 or 8 other picks, and then start putting some pieces around Justin Fields. And if you can give Justin a wide receiver, if you can get an A-level wide receiver, you can give Justin 2 quality offensive linemen to shore up that line where he's not running for his damn life.
90 yards a game, trying to figure something out.
I'd rather he ran for 1,100 yards this year. I'd rather him run for 600 and get another 2,000 yards passing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what he needs. He needs a true number one wide receiver. A Diggs. Tariq Hill, something like that. That guy who can take the top off. So now you got to respect the long game. I mean, I think Claypool and Mooney are great underneath guys, but they're not going to stretch the field.
Right.
And then you need to protect the brother and not let his jersey's supposed to be blue or white, not green.
Oh my God.
And there are games when his jersey's more green than Eagles jerseys. So,
but even look at the Eagles. The Eagles, they built around Hurts. They were like, all right, Hurts is going to be our guy. Let's get him another weapon, even though they already had
Devontae Smith.
Yeah, Devontae Smith. They were like, let's get A.J. Brown too. So if the Bears just look at that and go, oh,
that is the model.
All we have to do is copy.
That is the model right there. You got the guy you believe is a quarterback. Now get him help. And get him help in ways that don't worry about getting a stud defensive end right now. Worry about getting a stud wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
then they'll end up like the Ravens.
Yes. give me some weapons where I can take the top off. If my defense will be good if they're not on the field that long. And the other team's playing catch up and you make them one dimensional. So the best defense is playing good offense.
Yep.
Hey, I couldn't have said it better myself, man. I will not speak on my my hopes for the Jets next season, man.
Good luck with Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, please, brother, please don't put that evil on me, man. You know,
that man is about to go to the woods with a flashlight trying to find their room of darkness.
You think he'll have a dark room at the stadium?
I'll need that bad energy, that bad juju, man. I would say you mentioned Lamar Jackson, and this is a coke dream, but Lamar, please come on. What Scottie Pippen do when he was trying to get Jordan back? He did this. Yeah. Lamar, please come on over to the Jets, man. This team is made for you, brother.
Look, here's my thing. If you're willing to give up 2 number ones for Aaron Rodgers, why not give up 3 number ones for Lamar Jackson?
Yep. Have just a good 8 years out of him. Way better than anything you can get with the other 3 picks.
You guys have got the Jets have already got a strong defensive line, and you've got stud receivers, young stud receivers.
Yep.
All you need is a decent quarterback, let alone if you put a former MVP in that spot.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. We was cooking with Mike White. You know what I'm saying?
White Mania was running wild in New York City.
Yeah. I was at that game where he went off against the Bengals, and it was the greatest thing ever. I was like, oh, the Jets have a guy here.
I think you're literally a piece away. I mean, I think you guys could get away with, a Derek Carr or Garoppolo. I think those are you need just an accomplished quarterback who isn't gonna be like a deer in headlights.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Hey, please, me and Derek Carr, we gonna pray together. All I want every year, I say, I just give me 5 games every year. This year we won 7. I was like, all right, cool. Next year, give me 10. You know what I'm saying? Little by little, we'll make improvement.
And that's with no real quarterback. You win no 7 with no real quarterback.
That's saying a lot, bro. That's saying a lot.
Yeah. We doing good, man. We all right. I believe, man. Fellas, I don't know if y'all have any more questions for Mr. D'Lo Brown. But I've ran through my list. Mr. Brown, we appreciate your time, man. This is a great end. By far, this is probably my favorite.
Yep. Easily.
You're an incredible person, an incredible human. We love you. Thank you for your time. Like I said before earlier in the episode, we wanted to spotlight you and, get to know you some more and show you some love, man. And we really appreciate you coming here to, talk to us today. So thank you, man.
Gentlemen, I appreciate being on. It was fun. I had a blast. And you know what? Let's do it again around football season so we can talk about how Aaron Rodgers is piss poor messing your team up.
Oh yeah, nah, football season gotta come back. No wrestling talk. We talk it's
No
straight.
wrestling talk.
Straight football.
Straight ball. Straight ball. Straight ball.
Yeah.
Oh man, hey, before you want to plug anything before you get up out of here?
Like, just if anybody want to keep track of me, hit me up at DLoBrown75 on Twitter. I used to say it was only verified Twitter, but for $8 you can buy your check mark now. So just you'll see it's me.
Man, hey, y'all
Fair
heard
enough.
it, man. Y'all heard the man. Hit him up. That's my tag team partner right there, Manny. That is my other tag team partner, Cody Dre. And in the corner is the legend, Mr. D'Lo Brown himself, man. Thank you once again.
Appreciate it, gentlemen.
We appreciate y'all, man. We up out of here.
Thank you.
Let's go.